what's going on, everyone? Merry early Christmas, coming from Mostly Wrong Opinions. I'm Tyrone, that is Devin. Wait! Before we get into this awesome sequel of a classic, please hit that subscribe button right down there. It really will help us out. Now, this is the sequel to the 1983 film called A Christmas Story. This is A Christmas Story Christmas.
Oh, life moves fast. One day you're playing kick the can with kids named Flick and Schwartz.
I triple dog dare you!
And the next thing you know, you're a certified adult.
So I've learned a new phrase that describes what this movie is. You've been calling this a 40-year sequel. Apparently, there's a phrase for this now. This is called a legacy sequel.
Whoa.
Yeah, never knew that one before. A sequel to a film that's really old, and this time it's 40 years old.
So are you telling me that Coming to America and Ghostbusters Afterlife and Top Gun Maverick are all legendary sequels?
Legacy sequel.
Legacy. This is bringing back damn near everybody from the first film. This film had me in my feelings, man. Ralphie wants to do Christmas as good or better than his father did.
Right.
His father was the man.
Right.
Christmas.
So A Christmas Story took place in the 1940s, vaguely.
Yeah.
Although this movie actually gives you a year now, if you do the math. You can figure out that.
1973.
Yep. So if you do the math, they said it's been 33 years. One of the characters mentioned 33. So that means their original Christmas Story took place in the year 1940. Now this one takes place in the 70s. And like you said, he wants to do it big like his dad. There's a lot of pressure on him. And he's like, okay, everybody's coming to our house in Chicago. We're gonna bust it open for Christmas. And
oh man, all the day twerking now.
That's right.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus.
And he gets a phone call from his mom. He's like, yeah, I got all the presents. I got everything. What you calling me for? You know I'm busy. But it turns out, Dad died. Oh my God.
What?
Christmas has been turned upside down. They can no longer have Christmas in Chicago like they expected. Now they've got to go back to his hometown in Indiana and have Christmas with his mother and remember all the good times that he had with his father. And like you said, that is a very emotional premise. So just right out the gate, the movie hits you with the feels.
They did a great job with connecting like the heart of the first one into this one, because you know how with like Top Gun Maverick you was nervous with the whole nostalgia thing.
Right.
Film. This is a film that I think needs a lot of that, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I think you're right, because this is a completely different genre of film. This is like a Christmas film, which are usually openly sappy, and I think nostalgia bait type things. It kind of works for this.
Ralphie's job, he's a writer.
Which makes total sense.
You can see certain similarities within his character from the first film to this one. Because when he was a kid, he tried to bribe a teacher. And when he was an adult, he tried to bribe this publisher that he get published through. And I'm like, and the publisher put his shit in the
in the drawer with the other bribes he had.
Yeah. Even as an adult, he has a very wild and funny imagination. This is still a comedy that's for kids, but as an adult, you put yourself in Ralphie's shoes.
But the original Christmas Story also worked in that same way. If you're a kid watching the original Christmas Story, they talk about Santa Claus a lot. And if you're watching it, you won't pick up on the hints that Santa Claus ain't real. In the original, right? They're like, yeah, Santa Claus is coming. He won't come if you don't go to bed. And so they all go upstairs. Yay! They're like fighting up the stairs. And then the parents look at each other like, let's go get him.
Okay, let's get him.
As a kid, that line might have just gone right over your head, but as an adult, you realize that there's Santa.
Yeah.
So cute little moments like that. I like that quite a bit in the original, and there's a lot of that in this film.
I want to talk about this. Ralphie aged. Okay,
He aged kind of hard.
He aged kind of hard because I was like, yo, 1983, he was like 10. or 9 or 10 years old. And I was 40 years later, and he's like 50. And I'm like, he look older than my mama. He has a wife that looks
young,
my age, or even younger.
But see, his mother looked young too. I remember thinking that in A Christmas Story, that his dad looked old. His dad, like, he was in his 60s, and then his mom looked like she might have been in her 20s or 30s.
This is bringing back damn near everybody from the first film. But these guys that came back, and they were just as sharp and, probably even better actors than they were when they were children. From the bully, now he's a cop.
Of course he is.
Exactly, right. To his friend Flick, who owns the bar. When I was going throughout the film, I was like, where the hell is Randy?
Yeah, I was like, where's his little brother? Yeah.
But this dude is like some traveler. Yeah. He is traveling around the world, and he's up in freaking India right now. And he played him. He played his brother real good to get him off his ass. And then you're like, oh, Mom can't even get up right now.
Right. Well, she spoke today. What did she say? Just one word.
She said, Randy.
Oh.
He's like, what?
Yeah. Like you said, this movie, I think the best word to describe this movie is cute. And that is a positive thing, because I think that's exactly what this movie was going for. I think it hit, in my opinion, it hit almost every note that it was trying to hit. It was trying to do a lot of callbacks and nostalgia stuff for the original film, which it does, but it doesn't dwell on it. It just kind of hits it and forgets it. Sometimes it'll just show a prop from the original film, and you'll hear like some audio from the original film, like a memory. But then the movie kind of moves on. It's much more interested in its own story, and it's another big change from this film to the previous, and it's that A Christmas Story Christmas has like one story. The original Christmas Story felt like a series of little small stories, and much to my surprise, it is. It's based on a book of short stories. So I now that I know that, I understand why I never saw the original Christmas Story in full, because you don't really have to. It's kind of the perfect TV film where if you pop in now, you can catch a nice little scene and then pop out, go, put the turkey in the oven, come back and see another cute little thing. And while this movie doesn't work on that exact same way, because it's got like one story, it still is like a very light, fun, cute movie, very, very wholesome. So I guess A Christmas Story, it was kind of like the Christmas movie for like our parents' generation, But I think our generation's A Christmas Story was Home Alone, right? It's like the Christmas movie. Yeah. But I can see that A Christmas Story Christmas is trying to be the new version, an updated version of the original Christmas Story for a new generation, and I think it really works out. And it's interesting how you introduce this film as a sequel, and I learned a fun new phrase to describe this movie as a legacy sequel. But the movie is kind of circular. It's got a nice little twist at the end.
Oh boy, does it.
Where we realize what the title means. And we eventually learn that, like you said, Ralph becomes a writer, and Ralph is narrating the original Christmas Story. Yes. And you don't really think much about it, but it turns out that this is his story that he wrote in honor of his father. It was almost kind of like a weird obituary for his father. So that makes this film kind of a prequel and a sequel.
All at the
same time.
The holy grail of Christmas gifts. The Red Ryder 200-shot range model air rifle.
I thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of cute. So you could watch this in almost any order. I say watch it in the order it was released. But if you watch A Christmas Story Christmas first, and then watch A Christmas Story, it'll flow perfectly. It'll go.
I thought that was genius of
Yeah.
him doing that because everyone saw this paper. The story of his dad is in there, and at the end, when they're all sitting around, it was, did mom read it? And she's like, no, I want to hear you read it. And he reads it, and it's the dialogue from the first film.
Yeah.
What?
That's so great. That's really great.
I was like, the music of Home Alone played in my.
The only thing I think this movie was missing, well, I think the movie was missing two things. One of them was on purpose, and that was the father. The father in the original Christmas Story, I feel like he was the lifeblood of the film. He was the funniest and all that stuff, and a lot of scenes were featuring him. And he wasn't here, so his presence not being there was on purpose in this film. But also the narrator. I think the original narrator for the original A Christmas Story, I thought he was really funny and really like sharp. Peter Billingsley, he does his best to be the narrator in this film.
And the actor.
Yeah, and the actor. But I didn't find him quite as funny as the original narrator. So I did miss that voice.
Just the first film, it was kind of slower because, as we said, movies back then were slower.
In A Christmas Story Christmas, they pretty much have a callback to everything in the original Christmas Story, except one. That ending scene in the original Christmas Story.
Wait,
that
are we
was
talking about
so racist. They didn't go near it. They were like, nope.
Man, I said this would not fly today, and they did not put that in the second film at all.
If you look closely, you can see the Chop Suey restaurant back there in the background on one of the scenes. In the Christmas tree scene, you can see it back there, but they walk past it. They don't say a single word. They're like, we're not going to talk about it. The original Christmas Story should have ended about 10 minutes before it ended, or it would have been the perfect film. But man, they decided to put this racist joke right at the end of the movie, and I'm like, ooh. And so they didn't even touch it. They were like, we ain't getting nowhere near it. So that's another sign of the times. They are finally aware that there are other people who want to watch these movies too.
Exactly. You ready to get into this rating?
Let's do it.
I thought this film was nostalgic and needed to be nostalgic. I thought that the actors coming back, they did perfectly well in this. I did miss the father, but his loss was meaningful for this film to go along.
Right.
And it was just an all-around good film for me. I'm going to go ahead and give this film an even B also.
Great. Yeah, I'm giving this a B as well. I liked it quite a bit. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. I don't know. But I actually did like the nostalgia in this film. I think it worked. And maybe because I think Christmas, it kind of asks for nostalgia. I feel like Christmas is all about nostalgia. It's hard to enjoy Christmas without thinking about previous Christmases, right? And that's essentially what this film is about. Him thinking about his life as a kid and how this is going to work now that he is the dad, now that he's in his father's position. There's even this really cute scene where he's at the end where he sits down in his dad's chair. Is the only open seat, and everyone expects him to sit there, and he realizes that, it's his turn now.
It's his turn, yeah.
Yeah. And so that kind of stuff.
I was like,
yeah. That kind of stuff is really cute, and it works really well for the movie. So the movie knows what it is. It doesn't try to be anything more than what it is, and I think it nails its tone. So I enjoyed this film.
I gave this film a B. Devin gave this film a B. Do you recommend this film, man?
I do recommend it. I think it's really good. I think you'll really enjoy it. It was better than I was expecting.
Well, I also recommend this film. I thought this film was nostalgic and where in all the places that it needed to be, and some great actors from everyone that came back.
Yeah.
But most importantly, do you recommend this film? Get down in the comments and let us know if you do or if you don't. So that is our review for A Christmas Story Christmas. Oh. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Our subscriber count has been going up, and it's because of wonderful people like you. And we really appreciate you guys just, showing us the love. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Martin, can I get love? Show us some more love and get down there and hit that subscribe button. All right? If you liked this review and rating, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Or you can hit that thumbs down. Whichever you choose, it is your opinion. But just remember one thing, it is mostly wrong. We'll see you guys in another awesome video. Ho, ho, hoes.
I think it's just ho, ho, ho.
Oh. Yeah, that.